Hello, all my lovely peeps. I'm Dakian, and this is another in my series of vlogs. It is Monday, the 15th of June, and I have made, since last week, a little bit of progress on these Shadowrun guys. Not as much as I'd hoped, but I have finished the skin tones on all of them and gotten to work on certain portions of clothing on a few of them. I should be able to pick up the pace now that, as I've mentioned, vacation time started in earnest, and last Friday, that's 3 days ago, was my last day of work for a while, and hang on, I've painted this wrong. Huh. It's interesting I should notice this live on the air, so to speak, but if you look at this little lady here, you'll notice that I've painted this chest piece a different color than the dress because it's pretty clear from the sculpt that it's separate from it. But I hadn't noticed until now that this front piece here, this is actually a continuation of that. It's like a tabard. This is not part of the dress. I have to paint this over white. That'll mean quite a lot of white considering I painted the boots white, but since I already planned to make the cape a very, very dark color, so having this bright stripe down the front might actually work contrast-wise. Interesting. Oh well. We'll see how that turns out. I can pretty much promise you these will be done by next week at this time. So let's see what else is on the painting table. This is my Marcus crew, primed and ready to go, all prepped and assembled. We have the three-headed saber-toothed tiger. He's kind of skinny, but he's really dangerous in the game, so I suppose he's very hungry. The razor spine rattler, which is a really, really nasty looking snake. Pretty impressive. We have Miranda, who is Marcus's henchman, or henchwoman, I suppose. And we have Marcus himself, the Beastmaster. Now, he had an optional left hand. Let me see. Here's the sprue. There's an open hand and a sort of a big knife. But I wondered, trying to glue this knife into the hand would look really weird. It's not really sculpted to accept that. So the alternative would be to have an open hand outstretched and attach, the knife to his belt somewhere. I don't know, like that or something. But that would look strange. There's no obvious connection points on the model. There's no place where it seems like you would hang a scabbard or a knife from. So it doesn't really fit. Besides, on the stat card for him, there is no knife. So, yeah, this is going in my bits box. As a backup plan, if I finish all of this, if I finish the Shadowrun guys and this initial crew, then I want to paint some more creatures for Marcus to command. I mean, if you know anything about Malifaux, these models are barely enough for a 30 Soulstone game, which is the minimum that the group I play with runs. If I want to play bigger, 40 or 50 Soulstones, or even more, I need more models. And I've got some lined up. Push these aside. And first off, we have the Mole Men. This is also an old metal kit from first edition. They're pretty simple dudes. Shouldn't be too complex to paint up. And I also picked up one of the new plastic kits. These are the Horcat Pride. You can see here on the back. These are little kitties. And yeah, so I've got options. There's no lack of things for me to do. Oh, by the way, when it comes to painting these guys, I am thinking of pretty much following the guidelines here. I mean, painting the tiger like a tiger. The snake, yellow color, it's kind of interesting. I've sort of lazily painted all reptiles green in the past, but a different color scheme might stretch my talents and skills a little bit. That's interesting. As for Marcus himself, the only real question is what color to make the fire. See, these painted versions here on the back cover, they painted as a real fire, natural fire color. The artwork on the front has it as a kind of a blue-white magical flame, which is also an interesting effect. And so the question becomes, what should it really be? What does it represent? Well, he is a magician. I mean, he's using the power of soul stones from Malifaux to power his magic. So this is perhaps more magical. On the other hand, he is a nature magician, and this looks more natural. Another consideration is, do I want to make this sort of OSL that they've done on him, very, very bright yellow-red OSL? If not, if I'm going this color, I'm not going to do OSL as such, but I will do directional lighting, as in, you see, instead of having the light source be the sun coming from above, I will imagine this stuff in his hand being the light source, which means this side of his body will be highlighted more, especially up here. It will be, yeah, brighter on the left side of his face and on his chest, and darker on his back. Because it's just a kind of a white light, I'll just do the normal colors on him, except bring them up brighter and add more white than I would usually do in a highlight. For the closest parts, I mean. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So in the front rank here, we can see the latest Bones minis I completed. If you want to see them in more detail, you can go back to the video about pre-shading, which is where I painted these. Well, this is the bunch of bones that I've currently started working on. You'll note that many of them are have a lot of metal on them. This is why I picked out this particular group, because if I have a lot of them heavily armored guys, I might as well paint all of them at the same time. And yeah, very, very basic metallic techniques. I expect to have no trouble at all finishing these 9 guys up by next week. Now I've gotten a little bit bored just painting these character minis. I wanted to paint some monsters again, so I prepped some for my next Bones project after those armored guys, these bugbears. There's no paint on them yet. They've just been sort of cleaned and used the hot and cold water method to straighten out their bent weapons and all that sort of thing. And let's see how they turn out. Oh, sigh. Why can't I just stop buying new minis? Well, this week it was because I needed more Malifaux, obviously. Duh. Let's see what my excuse will be next week. Anyway, if you've missed it on my channel, I have in the past week produced a video about pre-shading, a technique video, and I also did a review of a book. In the upcoming week, I plan to do a review of a DVD set and another technique video. If there's anything else, any other content you think I should do, please leave a comment about that. If you if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And, well, if you have anything else to say, comment away on that as well. The field is open. Otherwise, I'm going to leave you here until next video. This is Dakian, signing off.